Got a comment here about, I guess, a tenant's dealing with a situation where I guess a landlord is showing the property to potential tenants 3 or 4 times a day. What do you do in that situation? Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the Landlord Warrior on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Now, we've been doing a couple of videos on Civil Code Section 1954 about the landlord's right to enter the property, and that's one of the enumerated reasons why a landlord can enter the property is to show the property to actual purchasers, mortgagees, or tenants, workers, or contractors, or to make an inspection for certain types of for security deposit, pre-move out inspection. Okay, that's actually in Civil Code Section 1954, Subdivision A2. Okay, here's the thing though. Says in the law as well too in Civil Code Section 1954 that the landlord may not abuse the right of access to use it to harass the tenant. Okay, and it's going to be a very factual scenario. Okay, so to this commenter's comment, if the landlord was bringing in people 3 or 4 times a day for like a 30-day continuous period, I'd probably raise eyebrows and go, landlord, what are you doing here? Okay, because this might be construed as harassment versus, okay, there was an agreed upon showing time with the tenant, and hey, we're going to show the property, it's 3 to 4 times a day, but it's like for a 3-day period and that's it. That's probably going to be a little bit more reasonable. Okay, your mileage is going to vary, but the cautionary tale for landlords is be mindful of your tenants. Okay, they obviously have possession of the property. You want to try to work these things out. Okay, I done showings. For example, I was selling a piece of rental property and we wanted to have an open house. So we came to agreement with the tenants to, hey, have an open house. Like, I think we had 2 like open houses or something like that. Okay, maybe something like that could be less intrusive than showing the property 3 or 4 times, a day over a course of days. Just putting my problem solving hat here because I don't want to harass anyone. I don't want to inconvenience or burden someone. But, sometimes you may need to show a property. So the best thing to do in these cases is try to work it out informally. Okay, and that's kind of where I see landlords and tenants butt heads with each other. It becomes like a pissing match about, who's right and wrong, or, someone's being difficult, that type of deal. You kind of want to try to ease the friction, okay? Because guess what? The problem is if a tenant is wrongfully denied access, it starts becoming a 3-day notice to perform type deal for failure to give access. You got to get the lawyers involved. That costs time, money, that type of deal. No one likes the legalese stuff. If y'all can try to figure it out, that's usually the best way to do things. But sometimes you may have to do things by the book. But sometimes you can get creative too. See if we can have certain days, an open house, like one time, we show everything at once, type deal to ease the burden. Figure out, showing schedules that work with a resident or tenant schedule here. So keep an open mind is the biggest thing. And if you can resolve the issues amongst yourself, that's usually the best thing to do. Because guess what? When you get the professionals involved, time is money, bills start adding up, and then everyone gets frustrated. And the last thing you don't want to do, and I'm a landlord's guy, you don't want to end up in eviction court for this. It takes weeks, okay? You have to prove that there's a material breach, and no one wants to go to court, okay? You shouldn't want to go to court, okay? If not, you're kind of, I don't know, I'll leave that alone. But the recommendation is to save yourself a lot of hassle, try to work things out and be reasonable, okay? Landlords, if you're facing a situation where you're having a problematic tenant issue or you have an issue like this and you need some help trying to negotiate, navigate through the system, that type of deal, you're in the Northern California area, feel free to reach out. You might be able to help out. Put your comments, questions down below. Try to answer them to the best of my ability. Until next time, folks, I'll talk to you then. Thanks.